Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a new video for Junk Journal July, and today's video is for the prompt Hidden. Okay, so if you are new and you would like to get the printables that you'll see me use in this video, you can just sign up in the link in the description below. Okay, now for today, I gave you guys a little hint yesterday on what I was thinking about doing. So what I have for today is this door, and I have this background. These are on the same printable sheet in the printable pack from this week. So I just printed this sheet out, and then I printed the paint splatter on the back of it. And I took a look through my journal here, and I think the perfect page for my hidden spread's going to be here. I like how there's this pretty leaf here and then this flap here. It does come pretty much right after my last spread. I am skipping a couple pages just to give myself a little bit more space in the journal, you know. So this is where I'm going to put it. And then I also printed out a quote from Yeats. The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. So I will put this as a PDF in the description below. Last time I printed out one of these, I had so many questions about it. So I made it in 3 different fonts, and I'm just going to put it in the description below. And if you want to use this particular quote in yours, it's there for you. But you know, there are so many quotes out there, so please, if this whatever inspires you, I would definitely go with that. And if it's not a quote, maybe it's a picture that inspires you and you want to put that behind your door. You know, if this is just, you know, what I'm doing here is just a suggestion. So, you know, I'm hoping to inspire your creativity rather than, you know, create a tutorial for how to do this, right? Because there's no how to do Junk Journal July. You just get to do it, right? And just whatever happens, happens. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do today for this. And you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, okay. Well, actually, what I'm going to start out with is to just do a little bit of stenciling on top of this here. Okay, I just want to put a little bit on here, I think, and I kind of like this stencil. I don't think it matters which way you go on this one, but I just kind of like it. I feel like it's a good contrast to what's on the background, and then it's going to help me make the background just that much less busy, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd just do a little bit on the background here. And then I'm going to do some layering and collaging on the background here. And I'm just going to use pieces of scraps from my scrap drawer. I just went through it and I pulled out all the tiny pieces. So, because what I want to do is kind of create like a collage line down the middle that includes the poem, or not the poem, I'm sorry, the quote, and also all the little scraps. And it will just be in the middle when you open the little door, so it'll be hidden. I was trying to figure out how to create something a little bit more bulky, but my folio made my first signature very thick, so I thought maybe I better do something flat today, you know? Okay, so I have that down, and I have my scraps here. I'll get those out. It's a bunch of different stuff. It is some linen here that's frayed. There's some lace, some torn papers, some packaging here. I have, you know, oh, I have other little pieces of cheesecloth. You know, I just have a bunch of stuff here. And I'm just going to go down the thing and just make a line. Oh, and I'm going to use washi tape too. So let me get my words here. This actually, let me let this dry, and then we'll get our words here and cut those out. I just need to get my scissors out of the drawer. And then for the font, I'm having a tough time picking. I think I'm going to use this one. I can always go back and change my mind, right? Okay, so this is, I accidentally printed this on the wrong color paper, because I just grabbed the paper off the shelf and put it in, and I ended up liking this. It's so you could print it on whatever color paper you want. It'll print on, if you print it on white paper, it'll just have a white background. It doesn't have this color background. This just happened to be the paper that I had, so in the printer. So I just decided to go with it because I thought it looked pretty good. Right, so I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to cut all the words into individual strips because that's the way I like to do it. Okay, so there's those guys. Whenever I do this, I'm always like, keep them in order, because sometimes they get out of order, but it's okay because this is a pretty short quote. I'm going to go ahead and ink some of these and trim them down a little bit, just, you know, so that they look, you know, evenly spaced around the edges. And I do kind of like this close cut look. So okay, so that's done. Now, what I need to do is get the door, and what we're going to do is just kind of give this a little bit of a slice down the middle here. So there's this here, this line here, and then there's another line here, and one up here. So those are the ones I'm going to be cutting on, and then I'm going to be folding on this line right here. Hopefully that's clear on that. You'll see it happen, so hopefully that will kind of illustrate what I'm up to. Really what you need to do is get the line here down the middle. I just want to make sure I'm really paranoid about like getting it the wrong way. Okay. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go across the top here. I find that my thing likes to go rogue. My knife likes to go rogue. I was wondering about using like one of those little rolly cutters, but I think that it would be too okay, now the bottom, you go right here on this line here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is clean it up with my scissors because that gives me a little bit more control here. Okay, so you're going to end up with kind of a thin frame up here if you're using this piece like I am. But this is going to adhere to the back of the page, so it'll be fine in the like long run. Just be kind of careful with it up front. And then okay, so we want to fold on this dark line right here. I'm gonna see if I can grab my little mini scoreboard just to help me make like a little bit of a line to bend on. And then that will make it just that much easier. It's a little bit hard because you can't see exactly where the lines are on the scoreboard. I love this little guy. It's a little small, but gets the job done all the time. Okay, so basically what I want to do is make this line here because that's what I'm going to fold on. And then once I have that line, I want to look and make sure that I'm cut to it. So that I don't tear the paper when I'm folding it. And as long as I have like basically where I'm folding right there, I should be okay. There's that one. And you want to go both ways here on this so that, because it's essentially going to be a door. We can also like reinforce this with a little bit of washi tape, which is like my favorite thing to do. So also you could glue a little piece of paper, extra paper, or fabric on like a thin piece of cheesecloth on the back of it if you wanted to as well. Okay, so this one we're gonna score here on this line. Okay. All right, and this does not have to be perfect by any means, you know? It's not something to stress out of because it's just your journal and this is supposed to be fun times. Like, this is like, I really think of this particular event as a great time to experiment. You know, like, not everything's gonna work out, not everything's gonna look amazing, but it's a fun way to learn new things. And also, like, I was really surprised at the end of Junk Journal January, like how much I had gotten done, you know what I mean? So I think, like, you'll even surprise yourself on what gets done and how awesome it looks, even if you don't think in the moment it's going well. I've had quite a few things go south in the middle. You know, but you can always recover. Just gonna trim that off right there. Okay. All right, so now I have my door cut. This is how it's going to go, and it's going to go right on top of this here, just like this. And then this whole thing will go on top of the page. So it should be pretty reinforced once we're done with it. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have to put on here. And here's my words. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just go down the center of this with washi tape and paper scraps. And just glue all this stuff kind of in a line. And then I'm going to go over what I glued down here with the words. So this should be, hopefully, you know, like a pretty uncomplicated situation. We'll see what happens. I have plenty of ideas to complicate it a little bit, but I just thought it would be cool to have like the doors open up and there to be this quote with all this like fun stuff behind it, you know? And the other thing is like this stuff that I'm putting on here is all stuff that I've used in other projects, you know? And that, like, I think is part of the like magic of it, because you remember like what you did in those previous projects, right? When you see the things that are on your page. So I actually got Fabri-Tac for the lace this time. So hopefully that will be good for that. But like, it's part of the magic of seeing all of your projects kind of coalescing on one page. It's just it's a fun and neat feeling to see that happen. So that's why a lot of times, like, I will bring in random scraps, that you'll see me bring in random scraps from things. And it's because I want to have, like, that kind of little bit of memory of that project working its way into this project. I think this is probably a little bit too long. And it would also be why, like, you know, 10 of us could sit down and do this project and do it exactly the same, but it wouldn't be the same because, you know, we'd all be using different little bits and pieces of scraps in the background that kind of like customized to like our own projects. Because, you know, it's funny because I do all these kits, you know, and everybody gets the same stuff, but everybody's journal ends up looking so fantastically different. It's amazing. I do have some washi tape here too that I'm gonna work in. Because I thought it would, you know, I want to have a bunch of different varieties of things as well. So that's why I'm using the fabric. I'm using the ripped paper. And the washi tape. Here we go with that there. You also might want to be really intentional about what's going on here and not be random about it. You might want to make this like a little bit of a record, you know, like, oh, here are all the papers that I've used so far in this journal, or, you know, this is what I've used to create this other project, you know, like whatever thing that, like, when you look at it, what's it gonna say to you? So I think it's, you know, it could be done, this could be done in so many different ways. Like this little piece of like paper lace here is a die cut from my journal, my January journal. So now I'm bringing it into my July journal. So, you know, it just has that connectedness over different volumes of work, you know, and different projects. And, you know, like, it also can help you, you know, how you change as an artist, how you're changing, how your journaling is changing, like, you know, are you making different things, new things, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. I do want to get some of this on here because this has such a nice fray on the edge of it. I don't know if that's going to be too long. I'm going to put this right here at the bottom. I think maybe I'll put a little bit of this butterfly washi tape here. A little. And my poem's also going to be going on here too, so I accidentally taped that on there. I'm going to put this down here. Just like that. Okay, now the only thing, okay, so, and the other thing I want to put on here, this might need to be a little bit smaller. This is a piece of the poem, The Highwayman, which is what I used in my ink-bound journal. So I want to make sure I get that in there as well. I'd like to get that in up here, I think. And then I want to see how my quote looks laid on top of all of this. Here. Okay. I still have, oh, wait, I still want to get this in too. I have a couple of things that were important to me to get in here. Make this a little bit smaller, maybe. I'm just going to get a quick little overview of how this might look in the little frame here. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here at the bottom. I'm going to go up just a tad bit more there on the top. I have this. You should have put that on there first. have to remember that I'm still putting a whole other layer on top of this as I'm going down it. I did want to have a tiny bit of this in here too, if I can work it in. This was the binding from 3 Wishes, which is we did in March. If you guys are interested in that project, you can find that on my channel. You just have to search 3 Wishes and it'll come up and you can download the whole project, and all the videos are all there for you. Okay, now I'm going to put the words on. No more, I'm not allowed to stick any more of this stuff on. I probably didn't need this crazy background, but, you know, that's how it goes. Let's see how we go here. I was thinking about putting the Yates on the actual door here. Could put it like this too. I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know why. I just... Alright, I'm going to use this for the... I hope I'm not driving anybody crazy. My fingers have paint on them. I'm sorry. Usually I just sit here though and, you know, make the whole video all at once, because it's much easier, you know, in the editing phase if it's continuous. Also, if I get up, the dogs think I'm done. So they're like, oh, we're going outside. I don't want that to go that direction. I always end up gluing tighter than my layout. It's kind of interesting. Okay. I'm just going to turn this over and press it down. Hopefully not glue it to my desk. We need a little bit more glue under the sharper. Okay. All right, so my plan for this is to use magnets to keep the doors closed, because I want it to seem like when you go to this page, it's just a door. It doesn't look like anything else. It just looks like a door on the page. And it's not fancy or decorated or anything because everything is going to be hidden. Go with that. And then this. So it would just look like this, you know. It would be completely covered. I don't have it lined up correctly, but it would just look like this, completely covered. This is in front of it even, so it's like even more hidden. That's why I picked this area right here, because I had this like little half page in here. I am running low on my Nuvo glue, so I had to order more. So my glue press is sad right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So hopefully I'm pretty even. I think I am. Okay, so now my thing opens up. Like it's like color explosion, right? Just like that. Okay, so on the back here is where I need to put my magnets before I put them into the book. So this is right where my doorknobs are. So I want them kind of, I was going to try to get them in that area. And I just have 4 tiny little magnets. Unfortunately, these are not my favorite ones, but these are a close second. I got these ones off of Amazon, so I can link these ones below if you want. And I think what I will do is just put the magnets on the doorknob so I can get the placement that I want here. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of this tissue tape over it. Stuff does not have the strongest adhesive. Okay. Now I'm going to take these off, flip them over, and hopefully, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, let's glue these guys on here, and then we can glue the front ones on. Okay, no, we're gonna do this one. I'm just going to cover this with this washi tape. I know it's on the back, but I just like to have the whole thing smooth. Alright, I'm going to pop this into my book here. There we go. I was in the wrong signature, I think. Okay, so that's how that's going to go in there. I'm going to go for this. Okay, now I'm going to put this down here. Right on my page. So it just looks like a door sitting on a page here. There we go. And now when you open it, it's full of magic things. Okay, so we just have to take care of these guys. I am unsure. Can you paint magnets? I am not sure. I wonder if you can. I know for sure that distress paint is permanent once it dries. So let's try the distress paint on there and see if that works. If it doesn't work, I will just put something, like I'll glue a little something over that. We could like punch a little hole or use a piece of washi tape to go over that. I just need a little some to put that on there. And we also have to see if I can do a neat enough job. Just get a little bit of, this is Tattered Rose. It's a very light pink. It's super pretty. Because it's not actually going to connect like to another magnet, it may hold. And it may take 2 coats. So who knows? Okay, so I mixed a little bit of water into the Tattered Rose, and I'm just gonna like spatter it on here. I'm going to do the first one on here. There we go. To get the like big one off. And then I'm going to try to just get this. This does kind of make a mess. As if you're going to be able to tell on here, but you know. Oops, that one got a lot on it. Alright, and I just have to wait for that to dry. Take these off here. I probably have paint spatters all over the place now. Okay, so this paint is almost dry. I'm going to leave it overnight. If it doesn't like stick, I'll just cut. I can use enamel paint tomorrow, or I could just use some washi tape and make like a little border along here to cover up the magnets. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will show you the finished product for this tomorrow. And we will be doing the prompt transparent tomorrow. So that should be interesting. Perhaps there's a window in our future since there was a door here today. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Please like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe as well. And we will do lots more fun projects. So I will see you guys tomorrow.